One book, two authors, 3 decades of making a difference for college writers and their instructors. Welcome to A Writer's Reference, the movie, starring users from 2- and 4-year colleges from all across the nation. Listen as they tell you in their own words the many ways in which this groundbreaking handbook has been useful to them and to their students.
I actually was first introduced to the Writer's Reference in 2009 as a student.
I began using a Writer's Reference as a student in 2002.
I know when I started as a graduate student, it seems like it was a book that people talked about, and it was really one of the most popular and best known of all the writer's handbooks that were available on the market. And it was just known as the Hacker Handbook.
But we came to a Writer's Reference, almost 10 years ago, and have been using it since then through various editions. It's the one thing that has actually been very consistent for us.
The book we'd been using before was not at all little or concise or usable, especially for first-year students.
And what made this handbook stand out, the Writer's Reference, what we loved was the ability to customize.
What we were looking for is to try to build a culture of writing on our campus. This would be like the centerpiece. So this was very important because it's a book that we want everyone to view as a 4-year investment. And I tell the students a lifetime investment.
We did it because we could add in the resources for multilingual writers in ESL. And we absolutely love that section.
I think that customizing the book, this is one of the great features, and it was actually one of the selling points when we adapted the text. So we could add a chapter on multimodal composition, writing in the disciplines, and so we were able to build that around what was important to us as a program and as a college.
I think we underestimate the importance of that common experience with this one text. My favorite sections would have to be the MLA, the APA, and the Chicago tabs.
The section in the MLA portion of the book on signal phrases and introductory phrases for quotations.
They've never had to think of sources talking to each other the way we do in that academic sense. So this is a brand new territory for them, and the book can be very handy for talking about ways to do that.
The section on coherence and paragraph coherence and transitions, helping them understand the important role of repeating keywords, of drawing an intellectual line through your paper, for my students has been an aha moment.
My favorite sections of a Writer's Reference are not actually individual tabs, but the orangish yellow boxes. And my students will tell me that those orange and yellow boxes are the ones that they're also most likely to use when they're writing for other classes.
I also direct writing across the curriculum. I've encouraged other faculty to use this handbook for a resource for students. Let's standardize so that students only have to buy one handbook.
Whether they're writing a paper for a nursing class or building their resume or doing something in an engineering class, there's something in that Writer's Reference that will be valuable to them as they do those assignments. And I remember the student saying, I haven't seen that since I was a first-year writer, right? Like since I was a freshman. And she's like, oh, I keep mine all the time. This is my go-to thing. And then that's when I started to pay attention that the tutors, that's the first thing they go to was the Writer's Reference. And so it was helpful that this student who's in the sciences, right, could still see, oh, this applies to all the different writings, right? It's not just English.
Why don't we just go to refer the students to Al? But I still feel that students need some sort of solid reference, a book. I talked to the bookstore manager and I asked him how many students traded in. He said not that many. So they keep it with them for their college duration for the 4 years.
I know that handbook has valid, reliable information. And anytime that you're Googling anything on the web, you have to sift through so much incorrect or fake information in order to get something that's reliable to use, especially in academic writing.
And we know as instructors that it's quality, that it's valuable.
The benefit of having a writer's reference as a document, a text, compared to just trying to Google something randomly is Google is random, right? So you don't. My question is that just because it's on Google does not mean it's accurate. Do you know that source? Do you know where it's coming from?
Most of my better students do come back to me and say a writer's reference is the book that I've hung on to and turned to over the course of the last few years. So I do think that helping them see that it is not a text for a course, but it's a text for their college education.
Students often think when they come into an early writing class that they know everything they need to know about writing, and then they find out that academic writing is an entirely different animal.
My students become better writers, they become more comfortable writers, they see models of good sentence style and structure, and they apply that to their own writing, and a lot of that is owed to the handbook.
The student identifies the book as personally useful to him or her when that student first uses it in another class and gets a good grade on that essay.
I just think it's a wonderful book, and we've had a wonderful relationship with Bedford, and I'm really glad and pleased with our decision to adopt a writer's reference.
I'm very excited about the 9th edition.